Greetings to all Southern Cameroonians. This is King Agent. I'm live today. I want to have a discussion with all Southern Cameroonians. And my topic of the discussion is SCBC represents freedom of expression in the Ambazonian revolution. There's too much insults from all across the TV station or so-called Facebook TV when it comes to Southern Cameroon Revolution. We have three main sites, you could say. We have the AGOC, the interim government, and now the newly created DARC. And these three sites have, in a way, have a military group, a military wing. The AGOC has the ADF military wing, and the interim government has the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, and DARC has ANC. No, excuse me, ANA, Ambazonian National Army. And under all these groups, they are all fighting for supremacy to defeat La République du Cameroon. In other words, they are fighting among themselves to fight against La République du Cameroon. In a small nation like Southern Cameroon with 8 million or maybe 10 million people, and you have military groups that are fighting among themselves because of you could call it the political party, so-called political party that's been created. And everybody has grouped themselves in a certain organization, either be in the AGOC organization or the interim government wants to proclaim to be a government, but it's not a government because Southern Cameroon is not liberated. Southern Cameroon is going through a revolution, which means there is no government. The fact that they have taken the name interim government does not mean they're a government. Become a government when you control the land. So far, this revolution, we do not control the land of Southern Cameroon. You still have the presence of La République du Cameroon inside Southern Cameroon, although they don't control most of what is happening, but they still have a presence inside Southern Cameroon, and they're still the legal or so-called legal government inside Southern Cameroon. The reason why Eric Tata used the word rebel, and even Tapang Ivo used the word rebel and actually created a TV called the Rebel TV, is because Southern Cameroons have rebelled against La République du Cameroon. But you see on Facebook and across different platforms, they'll be saying, "Oh, don't call us rebels," but that is exactly what Southern Cameroon is: a rebel. It's a rogue state that has decided to go against the government, the presented government inside Cameroon. It's a rogue state. But this rogue state is fighting for independence, it's fighting for liberation, it's fighting for freedom, because for over 50 years, we have been oppressed by La République Cameroon. And because of too much oppression that we have gone through for the past 50 years, and now we have decided to fight against La République Cameroon in order to gain this independence. These three main groups, AGOC, interim government, and you could also say DARC, because it's an organization, it's an institution that is also fighting for the liberation of Southern Cameroon. It goes to say that because of so much oppression that Southern Cameroonians have gone through for over almost 50 years or more, or counting, they don't know, they just know how to fight among themselves in order to regain or to gain independence. So they're insulting each other. You use one word, they say, no, you can't use that word. Erica would say northwest and southwest of Cameroon, although they were fighting him so hard because he said northwest and southwest. But that is the truth. It is northwest as for now, it is northwest and southwest. But as I said, the topic is SCBC represents freedom of expression in the Ambazonian revolution because they're surrogates of each group of the AGOC and the interim government, the two main strong power. They are surrogates abusing the freedom of expression when it comes to the citizens of Southern Cameroon. And the only television station or Facebook television station, if you want to call it that way, that is actually representing the entire people of Southern Cameroon by giving them a chance to voice out their opinion is SCBC. It's not ABC TV, because ABC TV you know is a controlled station, that TV station, and that goes as well with AGOC. They have their own TV station that they are running, and they don't even allow people to even voice out their opinions, because if you're not a surrogate of AGOC or of ADF, you are not allowed to express your own points of view. You're automatically blocked from expressing your own point of view, especially when your point of view is against the ADF points of view, and vice versa. You could also see that in with the interim government surrogates like um, Prince J. Carl or Mr. Nanchop, as well as you could see that in Tapang Ivo. When he starts, he always talks about blocking everybody that is anti. Everybody, it doesn't matter. He just blocks. He just tells his admins to block, because that is not the route to freedom of expression when you're supposed to be representing a group of people who have different views and different points of perspective. And because they don't accept your own point of view, you have the right to block them. You have the right to say, they, block everybody. You're one. Even as far as going to calling them stupid and stuff like that, because they don't accept your perspective. They don't accept your points of view. They don't accept what you're saying, and they are trying to express themselves through the way they think. And because of that, you said block. This there's no freedom of expression when it comes to this surrogacy of groups from the interim government or from the AGOC. And the thing is, the leaders themselves do not even try to see that is not good for the revolution, when the people who have decided to fight against La Republique de Cameroon are fighting to restore their independence, their freedom of expression that has been taken away by Paul Biya. And then the people who are supposed to be fighting for the freedom for Southern Cameroon as abusing the human rights, the freedom of expression of the citizens of Southern Cameroon. It's just anti-freedom, which is why Eric Tato is right to caution that somebody like Ayaba will become a dictator. He might say, "Oh no, I'm not interested in power. But everything that he represents shows that he's interested in power. When he cannot find a way to iron out issues with the interim government, likewise, the interim government cannot find a way to iron out issues for with Joe Ayaba in order to to create a more uniform institution that is for the interest of the people. So one thing I wanted to add is that I was actually happy with the fact that Eric Tato decided to create the Ambazonian National Army, and with the fact that AGOFC think that they are the national army, but for over 4 years that they have been fighting, Southern Cameroon has not been able to liberate a town, a village, not to talk of a county. Yet they claim to be the most powerful force in Ground Zero. They claim to be the most powerful force. Meanwhile, Southern Cameroonian citizens are dying in the numbers. The hit and run, the guerrilla tactics is not the best approach when the citizens of Southern Cameroons are dying. It's not. But but the surrogates of ADF will be boastful to say that they are the most dominant force and everybody else must join them. Why should they? When people have different beliefs, the different ways of thinking, different way of seeing things, the people must be represented in the institution that you created, must be allowed to have freedom of expression. But AGOC doesn't allow freedom of expression, neither do the interim government. They both are power mongers, people who are only after power and they don't give a damn about the citizens of Southern Cameroon. Because if they did, there will be more unity. They will approach things in a more respectful way that will impact the people of Southern Cameroon. When you see 15,000 people dying and you have organizations that are fighting among themselves, saying that they are the one in charge, meanwhile they're not in charge because you have like Republic Cameroon who's out there killing people. Who's out there killing people, you know? But many, many leaders in all those groups only give a damn about the power, only give a damn about being in control, being in charge. And which is why I think that AN, ANA that has been created by Eric Tato will have an impact in this revolution, especially when those soldiers on the ground put strategies and work in a way that will liberate towns, will liberate villages, will liberate even a county or two. And we also have to strategize in a way that we can take the war to like Republic Cameroon. But the leaders don't want, they're holding back. They're fighting among themselves. They're using their soldiers to kill each other. The surrogacy in this revolution is destroying it. And everybody is out to insult each other. Everybody's out to it is a business. War is a business. That's one thing you must understand. War is a business. Even the wars that are fought in the United States or across the world, it's a money making machine. But you must still achieve your goal. You must still achieve your goal. The goal for this revolution is to gain independence. When this revolution started, it was to make sure that Southern Cameroon will become ungovernable. Right now, Southern Cameroon is ungovernable, which means that we must change our strategy. We must change how we attack, and how we attack must be united. All these groups, even with the military wing that has been created by Eric Tato, and every citizen or any citizen that comes together with other groups of citizens inside Southern Cameroon has the right to create a military because this is a revolution. No one has autonomy. But AGOFC is trying to create to say they have autonomy over the military wing because they have been doing it for 4 years. That's not true. And the internal government is trying to proclaim that they are the government, so they must be the people. Everybody else must listen to them. That's not true. This is a revolution. In revolution, we fight the war until we win the war, then create a government. Because the people who have participated in fighting the war must have a say in how the government is created. You don't create a government in the process of the revolution in order to say you are the government of the revolution or of the people. That's not going to hold water because Southern Cameroon is the people who are fighting in Southern Cameroon is not only owned by the interim government. Other groups have come up that they are self-owned. In other words, they put their money, they fund themselves in order to fight this revolution. So you can't say because they are not part of the interim government, they don't have a say to how a government or how the government should be created when the war is over. Everyone that participated has to have a say in the creation of the new country. But the goal right now is to win this revolution. That's the goal. How do we do that? The key is to make this for us, all the groups, dark, AGOC and ADF military must work unitedly with the military of the interim government, which is the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, and ANA, which is Ambazonian National Army. They must work together. Together doesn't mean that they have to be in the same area. They just have to work as a team in different areas. We have 14 counties, 14 counties that need to be liberated. But over the 4 years, all the military groups, all the wars we've been fighting, has not been able to even liberate one or two counties. That's not. So what does that say? Though there are wins in this war, but there are losses as well. You have to look at the general perspective and to see how to go forward. One way to go forward is to attack La République du Cameroon. We must attack La République du Cameroon as soon as we can. Because when you do that, it will also create a distraction where they will have to either nah, that war can't be won like that, man. The war cannot be won if Anglophone guys marry Francophone girls. That has been happening. That nothing changed. That's been happening. Even though it's not in a high scale, Anglophones are getting do get married to Francophones, male and female. That hasn't changed because Francophones still control everything. It's not even about the language. It's the fact that they don't see us as them. They don't see Anglophones who speak English as brothers. They may say they are brothers, but they don't see them as brothers and they don't treat them as brothers. They just see them as a lesser being. It's as simple as that. They see Southern Cameroons as lesser beings, and they have been treating Southern Cameroons as lesser beings for more than 50 years. So even if there's the relationship is so deplorable, there's no way to link like Southern Cameroon and like Republic Cameroon. No way, absolutely no way. There must be a complete split. But the war must be won. The war must be fought and the war must be won. But we must do that more unitedly and stop. We must stop attacking each other. Listen to the thing is, Southern Cameroons need to listen to what people are saying, their opinions, not necessarily how they're saying what they're saying, but their opinion, their expression of what they're actually saying before you attack somebody. A lot of people don't understand what others are saying, and because their opinion is not, they're not part of the AGOC or they're not part of the interim government. There's a split. The only person who has actually tried to even push the interim government and AGOC to even see eye to eye is Eric Clapton, because he attacks both of them. Speaks the truth when they both do something that is impactful, and when they do something that is not impactful, he does that. But people are just attacking him for no reason. But there's something I wanted to say about this Mr. Nan. There's a guy from the interim government called Nanchop, Mr. Nanchop, who wrote something. He said children have started the occultic sacrifices of their parents for fame, money, and power. A few days ago, Eric gave his mother, and the fact is, Eric Tato's mother is still alive, but he said a few days ago, Eric Tato gave his mother. Mark just gave his father. Mark's father died of coronavirus. But this guy said that Mark just gave his father, and more is to happen in the next days. In the next day, any man we chop with seed, devil should be must be ready to pay it back, because the devil does not give up anything for free. But Mr. Nanjo, I want to say this. With the coronavirus that is happening and it's killing so many people across the world, it's unfortunate that Mark Beretta had to lose his father for coronavirus. But what you wrote, this is something that the interim government must sanction somebody like this. Mark Beretta is somebody who has fought so hard for this revolution. But because he doesn't have the views of the interim government, no, the views of AGOC, sometimes it's in between. Somebody will write something like this, a jargon like this, about somebody's father who passed away. This revolution started in 2016. Mark did not give his father then. We have COVID-19 killing people all over the world. It's now that he will give his father. Can you see the stupidity of Mr. Nanchop? And this is how this is what I say about freedom of expression, because somebody will say something, and because what the person said does not align with your own groups, you attack the person, you insult the person, you belittle the person. I do it sometimes for jokes, but I don't do that seriously. I don't take it for I don't But you see people going on and off insulting people because you know they're not they're not part of the AGOC, or they're not part of the interim government, and it's just created a division within Southern Cameroon when there should be unity. Because for 50 years, Southern Cameroonians have suffered in the hands of Francophones, in the hands of La République, in the hands of so many vicious, cruel, demonic action has been taken by La République and by the forces of La République to Southern Cameroonians. And this is the reason why we are fighting, so that we can gain independence, freedom of expression, the freedom to choose the life that we want to choose. Yet people are insulting people, people's father or mother are dead or are not dead. You are bringing that up. How does that have to do with the revolution? It has nothing to do with the revolution. What is the revolution? To stay focused so that we can defeat the enemy, which is like Republic Cameroon. But the revolution has gone to a point where everybody's just attacking everybody. A few days ago, because I said something, um, some of the surrogates of the ADF decided to put a cross on my picture to intimidate me. What do that's not going to intimidate me. There's nothing that the AGOC or the interim government or surrogate can do to me. I have the right to speak. I'm in the United States. I'm a citizen of the United States. I have the right to express myself. I'm an African. Or more important, I'm from Southern Cameroon. So I have the right to express myself the way I feel like it. And just because you don't like it, you don't send threatening message or think you could belittle me or trample over my personality. No. And people who think they could continue doing that, like um, what's his name? Franklin Villa. He was doing a live video on Saturday, and I was watching it. Some of his points, I agree with it, and then there's a lot of stuff that he says I don't agree with it. I agree with the fact that the Southern Cameroon Defense Forces or the military in Southern Cameroon must take the fight to La République du Cameroon. He said that. I agree with that. But I also disagree with him. I also disagree with him with certain things that he was saying, because most often more all the time he just keep calling Eric Tato and blaming Eric Tato on everything. Meanwhile, what is happening inside Southern Cameroon and what is happening in the revolution is a collective it's a collective blame from the interim government to AGOC and to everybody that's in this revolution. If we have to fail in the accomplishing trying to accomplishing the independence of Southern Cameroon or in winning this revolution, if we have to fail, it's gonna be all Southern Cameroons. The blame is gonna be all the Southern Cameroons, and if we win, it's gonna be all on Southern Cameroon. So the point of view attacking this person, it's because of Eric Tato. It's Eric Tato, and insulting. He's a La République. It's this. How is that going to win the revolution when the action speaks louder than word? Eric Tato is a businessman. He's a journalist. That's his passion. It just happened that he's from Southern Cameroon, which is why he's also involved in the revolution. If he wasn't from Southern Cameroon and he was just doing his business, writing his articles and employing other people, he will not be so serious about the revolution because it's not from that. All he will do is take the facts and write. But he's from Southern Cameroon, and that's his passion. So he has to speak and write to express his views. That's his God-given right. That's his freedom of expression. Just because you don't have the same opinion as him does not mean that you have to blame him on everything that's happening inside Southern Cameroon. I mean, it just says the interim the AGOC and the ADF military is weak. Because if you're only using the blame game to say, oh, it's because of the interim government, that's why we haven't succeeded, or it's because of Eric Carter, that's why we haven't succeeded. Why are you not looking for avenues or ways to win the revolution? You have the military might. You claim to have the military might, but why don't you use it? Oh, we're waiting for President Pobia to die before we attack like Republic of Cameroon. Man, just take the fight to like Republic of Cameroon. You have the weapons. This is a revolution. This is a war. In war, people die. They've killed 3,000 like Republic military, and they've killed 15,000 of Southern Cameroon. Who's losing? We're the one losing. We're losing people, and we're gonna keep losing people if we don't act. And the thing is, in revolution and in government, you need people who can think and act, not people who just follow, just not people who just accept what the people on top are saying, and you can just follow blindly because they are leaders. Many surrogates of AGOC slash ADF, they see Joe Ayaba as a god. And that's a mistake. We don't need to see somebody as a god in order to liberate us. If he's a god, then he should just liberate us without us even asking him. But he's a man, so why should I see him as a god? And because he's a man, I have the right, the full right to question what he is doing because I am from Southern Cameroon. And just because I question what he's doing, does not necessarily mean that I should have backlash from his gangs of surrogacies, because that's what they do. They just gang on one person to show that they are powerful, but they're not powerful. I don't need 20, 30, 50 people to speak for me when I can speak for myself. And if you notice, that's what Eric Carter does. He speaks for himself. He doesn't need 20,000 people to speak for him. But in the interim government, as well as in the AGOC, you got so many surrogates speaking shit against other people because this person's point of view is different from your point of view. But you're creating a nation, and in a nation, people do not think alike. People think differently. People have different thoughts, different way of looking at things. Joe Ayaba must encourage freedom of expression within his surrogates, and that goes with the interim government, because they claim to be the leader, but they're not acting like it. When you have a bunch of people just going around insulting people because other people are expressing themselves or what is happening in the revolution, and then you're only asking for shit like the interim government is all about asking for money, and then you take the money, you don't do nothing with it. They come up with a stupid idea called the Amber War Draft. Amber War Draft. When are you going to get that money to use in the revolution when people are dying? When you had money before and you didn't use it. It's ridiculous. The Southern Cameroon must be liberated. And people who have the bold mind to speak should speak and not be afraid of surrogacy from an interim government or the AGOC. because those two groups are all power mongers. They don't give a damn about the people of Southern Cameroon. They want to win by any means necessary, even with the cost of taking so many lives in Southern Cameroon. But we will win this war, especially with the creation of Ambazonian National Army. It's the right idea to push this revolution to the next level. We've made Southern Cameroon ungovernable, yes. And now we need to take bold steps that will liberate Southern Cameroon. And to do that, we must start liberating counties and then push the war inside La Republic de Cameroon. That is the key. The interim government or Ambazonian restoration forces need to stop attacking the AGOVC, and the AGOVC need to stop attacking the Ambazonian restoration forces. Those two military groups should concentrate on the counties where they are more powerful to liberate those counties. In other words, if the ADF is strong in Bui County or Meme County, they should concentrate their power there, liberate that county. That is, take away anything that has to do with La Republique from the government structure. Take them all out, the people and the military of La Republique inside those counties. When you can liberate 1, 2, 3 counties, and that goes for Ambazonian Restoration Forces as well as Ambazonian National Army, when that can happen, you will see more people who believe in whoever or whatever group decide to do that. Because when you liberate those counties, then people will have a safe haven to have a peaceful rest while you push forward to the other counties and liberate those counties and then take the war to La Republique de Cameroon. One thing that I actually find remarkable when Franklin Vella was speaking was the fact that he was blaming the advisors to Cho Ayaba. They're the one giving him wrong ideas that he should attack La Republique de Cameroon. He should attack La Republique de Cameroon. He shouldn't just listen to the advisors and just take what they're doing. He must listen to them, then take the best advice. But if he's taking the advice that the bad advisors are giving him, then that shows that he's also a bad leader. And that's what I got from that. I don't have to be part of the AGOVC to understand that. I just have to listen to what they're saying and do my own critical thinking and apply. If you have bad advisors and the bad advisors are giving you ideas and you're taking those and then you're losing, you're a bad leader. But Cho Ayaba wants to claim he is the master of military defense in Southern Cameroon. What war did he fight in to gain that experience? What war? He didn't fight in any war to gain that experience. So any Southern Cameroonian has the right to create an independent, to create a military force, or to create even a political party with a military force and join the revolution and fight the revolution. And when we get to Boye, everybody that has participated in the liberation of Southern Cameroon will have to be part of the creation of the government. So in other words, the interim government will not get to Boye and say, oh, I'm the interim government, so I have to speak for the people. No. Yeah, the interim government played a part, but so did ADF, so these Dark or ANA, so did all the other groups that are on the ground. They played a part in the revolution of Southern Cameroon, and they have to be part of how the government is created. That's what the United States did when they fought against Britain to gain their independence. They didn't have a government. They put a military together, fought against um, Britain for over 7 years or so, defeated them, and then Britain tried to come through in Canada, through Canada, and they still got defeated again. And then they created a, a government that was inclusive. Everybody that participated in the creation of the United States at that time had something to say about the government that need to be created. So you guys say, "Oh, I'm the interim government. I'm the for the people. So I'm the one that now." Everybody that participated in the freedom of Southern Cameroon has the right to participate in the creation of a new government after the revolution has been won, not when the revolution is going forward. This is the reason why they have this power fighting thing. Instead of concentrating on the liberation part, then after the liberation, everybody that is involved in it has to say how the government is created and how it's run. But people are all about power. They think, "Oh, I did more in this revolution, so I have to say the most." You're just replacing another dictatorship with another dictatorship. And which is why a lot of people see Agosi and Chuayaba as a tyrant and dictator. This is King H. This is my first live video after a long time, and I'm be out. Till next time.